Our top story this Thursday, the results of the investigation by special counsel Robert Mueller are expected to be made public this morning. Attorney General William Barr is set to release a redacted version of the nearly 400-page Mueller report. Before he does, Barr plans to hold a news conference, a move that's already causing backlash. House Judiciary Committee Chairman Gerald Nadler said the Attorney General is, quote, taking unprecedented steps to spin the Russia investigation. The Lockwood community is mourning the death of a young student. The school and authorities are not releasing any specific details about the boy or the situation. A post on the Lockwood School's Facebook page alerted followers Wednesday afternoon about the death of a student and that Lockwood parents should be ready to talk with their children. It states, even though this accident happened while at home and not at school, we believe it is best to inform all intermediate school parents of the situation, as all our students will likely be affected emotionally. The post also states counselors will be available during the Easter break to help Lockwood students deal with the death. Counselors will be available today from 8 a.m. to noon at the Lockwood School's intermediate office. The boy is identified as Michael Fisher on a GoFundMe page. The account specifically addresses medical and funeral expenses for his family. If you were hearing sirens in Yellowstone County last night, well, that was the last time you'll hear them. After years of use, the sirens are obsolete. The main concern is the lack of information the sirens provide. The blaring sirens are now replaced with a notification on your phone with the code red emergency alert system. There are still a lot of questions about the new system, especially for those who don't have or don't often use smartphones. The good news for those folks, you can sign up using a computer to get alerts to a landline telephone or even to an email address. The county decided to make the switch so important emergency alerts would get out to more people filled with more detailed information. The now retired sirens only covered about 1% of the land area of the county and are only used for weather emergencies, whereas the new system can help alert residents about other emergency situations like evacuations, flooding, hazmat situations, or criminal activity. For more information on how to get signed up, you can find this story on KTVQ.com. With the melting snowpack comes the expectation for wildfire season. Earlier this month, the National Interagency Fire Center said this year's fire season will be about average for any significant wildfires through the month of July. But the agency also says to take the predictions with a grain of salt because minor changes in our weather pattern could change everything very quickly. A 40% chance of above average precipitation could also result in more lightning strikes, which can also lead to out of control fires. Lawmakers are running against a deadline to put final touches on a massive $10 billion state budget. A key element is something called a companion bill, where money and programs are stuffed into that bill at the last minute. Lawmakers placed 9 pages and $38 million of spending authority into the bill for programs in 24 other bills. Titled Senate Bill 352, it now goes on to a committee where it could get changed further. Most of the spending remains in the main budget bill, House Bill 2. Critics of the process say companion bills are used to insert spending or pet projects that didn't get approval in the regular process. But some leaders insist the process is an open one.
In terms of transparency, I think this is actually an advance to the system. Back in the day when just a couple people sat around after House Bill 2 had passed, and they had 2 piles of bills. Ones that were in, ones that were out.
The session is scheduled to finish no later than May 1st, but could wrap up next week. A 20-year-long fight coming to a close for firefighters across the state as the Firefighter Protection Act lands on the governor's desk. The governor has ordered all flags be lowered to half staff across the state today in honor of all Montana firefighters who have lost their lives from a job-related illness in the line of duty. MTM is checking in on Montana's promise to collect and test rape kits in our state. It's a mission of the Montana Sexual Assault Task Force that's been years in the making. In a special report tonight on the Montana CW at 9 o'clock, MTN's Andrea Lutz takes an in-depth look at how Montana handles and investigates sexual assault allegations. Across the nation, there's been mounting concern for years over untested rape kits stacking up in evidence lockers across our state. But Andrea also wanted to know how many of those untested rape kits have now turned into justice for survivors. She'll also examine what changes will be needed going forward as Montana State Crime Lab in Missoula starts to see an increase in rape kits coming to their lab for testing. Montana continues to rally behind a Montana Highway Patrol trooper shot last month in the line of duty. Starting today, Montana Highway Patrol offices across the state will have bracelets available that say "Wade Strong" and "Keep Fighting." They're in honor of Trooper Wade Palmer, who is recovering in a Salt Lake City hospital. He was shot March 15th while searching for a shooting suspect who had already killed one person and injured two others in Missoula. Those bracelets are available for a minimum donation of $5. The closest MHP district office is on South 27th Street in Billings. The proceeds go directly to the Palmer family, and the bracelets will be available until they sell out. The number of drones piloted by regular Americans has taken off in recent years. The Federal Aviation Administration predicts by 2022 there will be 2.4 million drones and over 300,000 remote pilots. Many will be children. CBS's Mola Lanke takes a look at how the next generation of pilots are being trained.
The screws, I think, is the most challenging part.
Zamaya Williams is assembling her own tiny drone, complete with batteries and LED lights.
I like to build them.
The fourth grader is part of a class run by Global Air Media in Baltimore that teaches drone assembly, flying techniques, and safety.
So when you're flying, you have to take an account for the helicopters, the other planes that are flying around.
In recent years, drone ownership has skyrocketed as the cost of the technology has plummeted.
The same drones that the professionals are flying today, some of these kids are getting these drones for Christmas, for birthdays, and they haven't had the same, level of training as the adults.
Safety is not just on the minds of these kids and the instructors, it's also on the FAA's radar.
When Buzzy goes out for a flight, the #1 rule is keep Buzzy in sight.
The FAA has created short animated videos starring Buzzy the drone to remind kids they need to be able to actually see their drone while it's flying, keep it away from airports and below 400 feet. In January, a drone shut down Newark Liberty International Airport after a pilot reported it came within feet of the plane he was about to land. A month earlier, more than 100,000 passengers were stranded at London's Gatwick Airport after a pair of drones flew into the airspace. A recent study showed the potentially severe impact of a drone crashing into the wing of a small plane. Those are the kind of scenarios drone safety teachers are trying to prevent. They hope throttling up on the guidance now will help students become safer pilots later. Mola Lange, CBS News, Baltimore.
And any drone over about a half pound has to be registered with the FAA.